some more very interesting polling data for Republicans. Looking good for Republicans, not looking so good for Democrats. Take a look at this video.
Yeah, you would think after all of the waves, Kate Baldwin, after the last few months, the first 5 months of the Donald Trump presidency, right, the first 4 months of the Donald Trump presidency, that you expect that Democrats would have this massive lead on the economy. It ain't so. It ain't so. The party that is closest to your economic views, in November of 2023, it was the Republicans by 11 points. Now it's still within that range, still within that margin of error. Plus 8-point advantage for the Republican Party. How is that possible, Democrats? How is that possible after all the recession fears, after the stock market's been doing all of this, after all the tariffs that Americans are against, and Republicans still hold an 8-point lead on the economy? Are you kidding me?
This is new CNN polling.
Yes.
How is that, when we look for trends, how is that trending with other data that you're pulling in?
Yeah, if it was just this one CNN poll, that would be one thing. But take a look at Reuters Ipsos. What do we see here? Party with a better economic plan. Well, in May of 2024, just before Donald Trump was reelected president, Republicans had a 9-point advantage. Look at where we are now in May of 2025. The advantage actually went up by 3 points. Now Republicans have a 12-point advantage when it comes to the party with a better economic plan. And again, this is after months of supposed economic uncertainty in which the stock market's been going bonkers, in which the tariff wars that Americans are against have been going on. And yet, despite all of that, the Democrats are down by 12 points on the economy. This speaks to Democratic problems on the economy better than basically anything that you could possibly look at. The Republicans still hold an advantage on the all-important key issue of the day, and that used to be Republicans are not out of the ballgame because they still have a clear advantage on the economy, whether you look at CNN's polls or whether you look at the Ipsos poll right here, in which they have a 12-point advantage on the economy, Kate.
And also in the CNN data, it does show that Republicans are gaining ground in an area that is key relating to all of this, which is when it comes to the middle class.
Yeah. You know, historically speaking, which is the party of the middle class, has been a huge advantage for Democrats. I have polling from NBC going all the way back since 1989 when Democrats had a 23-point advantage. 2016, a 17-point advantage. But by this decade, we already started seeing declines back in 2022 where you saw that Democrats led, but only by 4 points, well within the margin of error. And now in our latest CNN poll among registered voters, which is the party of the middle class, it is tied. This, I think, speaks to Democratic ills more than anything else. They have traditionally been the party of the middle class. No more. Donald Trump and the Republican Party have taken that mantle away, and now a key advantage for Democrats historically has gone adios amigos.
Let me know in the comment section down below what you think about that polling data. Again, it's coming from CNN, so not exactly a bastion of conservative support. So when CNN is pointing this out as a warning sign to Democrats, I kind of look at it differently and not in a negative way. That's a relatively liberal channel saying, hey, Democrat Party, you got a problem. So let me know in the comment section down below what you think. Do you believe the data? How do you think that bodes for the 2026 election? That's really what I'm starting to look at. I mean, we're trucking through 2025, not too far to go until people start campaigning for 2026. And how do you think that polling data is going to pan out for Democrats and Republicans as we go into 2026? That being said, that's not all the bad news for Democrats. It actually gets a little bit worse. And this next video is about the impact of the census on the electoral college and how many seats different states have in Congress. Take a look at this one.
According to official projections based on the most recent U.S. Census data, Florida and Texas will gain a combined 7 electoral votes in 2030, while California, New York, and Illinois, deep blue Democrat strongholds, are set to lose seats and electoral clout. Translation: the states that elect Republicans are growing. The states that elect Democrats are dying. Two groups, the Brennan Center and America Redistricting Project, one left-leaning institution and one right-leaning, supposedly, both forecast a loss of 11 to 12 House seats for blue states. That's not a margin. It's an extinction-level event for Democrats.
And let me know down in the comment section below what you think about that as well, because that's really significant. The polling data indicates that Democrats are not doing that well. And it indicates, conversely, that Republicans are actually doing quite well. So that would indicate that, okay, more Republicans are going to get voted into the House and Senate. And I'm thinking about 2026. So that majority of Republicans in Congress should increase. And then, of course, over time, there's the impact of the population on the number of representatives in Congress from each state. And it's fascinating to see that as some of these traditionally red states grow in representation, some of these huge Democrat states, New York and California, absolutely massive, and they lose seats in Congress. So that could have a very dramatic effect on the number of representatives from each state in Congress. And it looks like the shift is toward Republicans and away from Democrats. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below about that topic as well, because this is like a double whammy. It's not just how people are voting in general, it's also indicating just a shift in representation towards or in favor of the Republican Party as time goes on. Be really curious to see what you think about both of those situations or both of those videos. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Want to see more like it, definitely subscribe. And as always, until next time, God bless. Love you all.